This airfield was once a strategic base for Russian forces in Kherson. Now, drone footage taken after Moscow's retreat in early November shows it littered with destroyed military equipment. Piles of damaged, seemingly unusable hardware sit on roads and fields, offering clues on Russia's strategy for the next phase of the war. After losing Kherson, Russia launched missile attacks on Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities, but along the front lines in southern Ukraine, Moscow's focusing on reinforcing its positions further east. So here's how images from this liberated city help understand Russia's military shift ahead of the winter, when extremely cold weather complicates operations. First, let's look at this airfield, which was used by Russian forces as a base for its aviation. These satellite images show how Moscow housed helicopters, trucks, and other military equipment here after occupying Kherson in the early days of the war. The resources were meant to support the army's attacks and a push to conquer new territory. However, they were also exposed to Ukrainian attacks that inflicted heavy damage on equipment, like these helicopters that were hit as early as March. And in recent months, analysts say those positions had become untenable as Ukraine also hit supply lines and infrastructure like this bridge, making it difficult for Russia to send ammunition and, in the long term, support any attacks. Russia's defense minister announced the withdrawal from the area on November 9th, saying the safety and well-being of military personnel was paramount. But weeks before that announcement, Russia had already started to withdraw its soldiers, as it also evacuated civilians. That's according to analysts and Kherson residents who say they noticed unusual movement since October. Troops took the time to move equipment across the Dnieper River towards territory Russia controls in the east. The process appeared to be more organized than earlier Russian retreats. In the Kharkiv region, for example, Russian troops were forced down in September after a surprise counterattack by Ukraine. Back then, the Ukrainian army took over tanks, howitzers, and many other functioning weapons. But in Kherson, the vast majority of the gear left behind appeared to be heavily damaged, pointing to what analysts say is a pre-planned operation. Although Ukrainian propaganda videos promoted the idea that Russia had abandoned valuable tanks and ammunition, defense analysts and WSJ reporters in Kherson said the number of recovered weapons appears to be minimal. Weapons experts who reviewed these images say they believe some tanks and armored vehicles were intentionally destroyed by Russian forces before they fled, so they couldn't be used by the Ukrainians. For Ukraine, taking back Kherson was an important symbolic victory. Military analysts say Moscow has pared some losses and has the possibility to reorganize and redeploy to other fronts in the east, where it has also struggled to make gains. For both armies, analysts say it's also a chance to replenish their armories and stock up supplies as temperatures fall and combat conditions become more challenging.